welcome to day 13 of this engine rebuild. The focus tonight is going to be getting the rest of the oil cooler lines hooked up here in the front, and then getting most or all of the bottom end electrical connections on the bottom end of the engine. And then hopefully, if I get all that done in a reasonable amount of time, pull the exhaust muffler off and brush that down and repaint it, because the muffler that I put on last May is actually rusting for some reason. So we're coating it with a new fresh coat of paint, high temperature paint. But let's get started here. We fucking got it! All right, everyone, we finally got our compressor and compressor bracket mounted back on. I've been fighting with this thing for the last like 45 minutes. I had to take the compressor off a couple times because there's a bolt down here that there's not enough clearance for this bolt to be pulled out while the compressor is mounted. And so I only found that out once I had all the other bolts in, unfortunately. But you know, that's part of the learning experience. Next time I'll know that when I do the next engine build. But really tonight, like I said, we're trying to get some of our pumps on, and we really want to get the front part of the engine, all the electrical stuff. We want to get the harness routed around the front of the engine. That way we can go ahead and start putting our other pumps on, like our water pump and everything, our alternator. And then eventually, hopefully tomorrow night, we'll get the intake manifold on, get that all hooked up, the fuel injectors hooked back up, and we'll also start working on the exhaust as well. But yeah, it's been a pretty frustrating the last 45 minutes, but you got to have patience, and that is one thing that I have learned through this whole experience, is you have to have patience. There's going to be, you know, bolts that are extremely hard to get to, and you just gotta, you know, chip away at it and unscrew it. Sometimes it takes, you know, 30 minutes. I've taken 30 minutes to unscrew a couple of these bolts inside this engine bay, because you just gotta stick with it, and eventually you'll get it out and you'll be moving forward. Let's get these in here. The heck?
You got to push him past, I believe.
Oh, there he goes. See if I'm on there. There we go. That one's in. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We are currently pulling the transmission pan right now. Yep, it's leaking.
You're going to want to get the heat shield off the side here. That's 210s.
Oh, I didn't even notice that was there. All right, let's drop this here.
what I'm glad I remembered that thing, that plastic cover before I put the header on.
Yeah.
That one sucked.
All right, so we got no material on the pan. That's great. A little bit of friction material here, not much. Really nothing here. That's just normal wear. I'll clean this pan out. Go ahead and put our gasket on. Yep, that's the plan. You ain't kidding, that stuff is sticky. That gasket seal. Nope. We got our transmission pan torqued down, bolted back in, new gasket, new filter on. We'll clean up a little bit of the bell housing here. We got our first header on. We gotta put the past the driver's side on first still, as you can see. But yeah, coming along. Tomorrow, Saturday, we are planning to start this truck. As I'm currently putting my heat shield back on for my transmission pan. Alright, heat shield's back on. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, now that I can actually get you some decent shots without shaking the camera all over the place, it is pretty tight under here. Got our knock sensor in, right there. And AJ, what are we putting on now?
The ground cables.
The ground cables, okay.
There's two down there by you on the front of the block.
Okay.
And then there's one that goes up on the back of the head.
Alright. Or do you want me to go back?
You go back.
Oh, that last one's gonna be a pain.
You're probably not going to be able to torque the last one. Probably just going to have to double wrench it and just.
Might be like that. Let's see. Nope.
What about?
What?
I don't know, mine. It does reach. Shoot, that one's not even. No, let's see if you can push that one. Like if you look at where that boot is.
Yeah.
We'll put the O2 sensors in.
Mm-hmm.
We'll put the. You got to stop at AutoZone and rent the harmonic balance installer.
Okay.
Oh,
So we got our spark plugs in, the headers in, spark plug wires, all the yeah, wiring harnesses routed, bottom end electrical connections are tight or plugged in. You want me to plug in that coolant sensor?
you can.
Okay, we're done messing around with that little area. All right, coolant sensor is in. Hope you all enjoyed this video, and we'll see you tomorrow for startup.